Good evening. Welcome to the Buck Stops here. You've been watching that interview, Arvind Kejriwal speaking to Barkha Dutt. And so Arvind Kejriwal in that interview, not at all on the defensive, making it absolutely clear that the decision taken to resign was the right decision. In fact, we can also tell you that Arvind Kejriwal seemed completely at peace with himself today. At some stages, even playing badminton with some reporters who'd gone to his house. Well, we're going to debate some of the key points made by Kejriwal in that interview and look at the larger picture. Is the gamble taken by the Aam Aadmi Party leader to bring his own government down in just 49 days a politically viable move? Joining us now to debate this, Prashant Bhushan, member of the National Executive of the Aam Aadmi Party, will be joined in a moment by Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson of the Congress, and Pinky Anand, the spokesperson of the BJP, joins me at this stage. Mr. Bhushan, let me come to you first. In that interview to Barkha, Arvind Kejriwal said that the LG was openly flouting the constitution by not agreeing to dissolve the House. Why was that the case, sir? What did the LG actually do which flouted the constitution? This was his interpretation of events.
Well, what he meant was that when it is clear that there is no other government that can be formed, and the government, the outgoing government, has recommended dissolution of the assembly, then what option does he have except to dissolve the assembly and call for fresh elections? President's rule is imposed only in those cases where there is some reasonable possibility of a viable government being formed. In this case, it is absolutely clear when the Congress and the BJP have made it clear that they are not willing to form a government with the support of each other, and the Aam Aadmi Party government has recommended dissolution of the assembly, and there is no possibility of any other viable government being formed, then what is the option before the Lieutenant Governor?
Sir,
why should President's rule be imposed and the assembly kept in suspended animation?
Sir, the reason I ask you this question is because Arvind also seemed to suggest that the LG was acting on the behest of the Congress, that the Congress doesn't want elections now, and therefore he was in a sense doing them a favor by keeping the House in a state of suspended animation.
That appears to be the case because there is no other rational or logical reason for the LG not to accept the recommendation of the outgoing government and dissolve the assembly and call for fresh elections.
So you maintain the point that the Lieutenant Governor is in a sense an agent of the centre. Yesterday, Arvind Kejriwal referred to him as a viceroy. On the other hand, in that interview to Barkha, he also said he has a great deal of respect for the LG. So what exactly is the love-hate relationship between Arvind Kejriwal and Najib Jung?
No, you see, Najib Jung is a very personable person, and to the extent that he could be helpful, he has been helpful. But one must look at the larger picture. I mean, he is clearly a appointee of the central government who can remove him and replace him whenever they want. And on top of that, you see, he has unfortunately had these links with Reliance company in the past, and therefore it would be unrealistic to expect him to sort of defy or totally defy the dictates or the desires of the Congress party or the central government.
Pinky, why don't you respond on the point on the Ambanis? Because as far as Mukesh Ambani is concerned, the allegations made by the Aam Aadmi Party is that both the Congress and the BJP are in a sense answering to Reliance. It is in the interests of both parties to ensure that there is no case or there is no probe against him. And even now Mr. Bhushan seems to suggest that. How do you respond to that?
Yes. I find it amazing. I mean, I don't know where this entire story of Ambani's is coming into operation at all. In the sense, where is it relevant? Right from day one when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal took the oath as Chief Minister, or even before that when the trust vote was still to happen, I mean, the game was obviously there on the surface. Mr. Kejriwal only wanted the Jan Lokpal bill to be defeated so that he could take that up as an issue and walk out of Delhi responsibility of governance and to take over or answer to the citizens of Delhi for governance and to go into the Lok Sabha elections and try to portray himself as the prime ministerial candidate. I mean, that game is apparent. This entire situation of whether an FIR has been lodged against Mr. Ambani or not, whether it's relevant or not, I don't know where it's going. Mr. Kejriwal's game was only to bring it up to the point, Delhi police issue was taken up, there was dharnas there was talk of anarchy, and then there was back off, and then there was waiting for Jan Lokpal bill, that will be taken up, it will be defeated, and then Mr. Kejriwal has an opportunity at the opportune moment to walk out of Delhi, the responsibility of governance for the Delhi people, and then go to claim a further seat for himself, of course totally, uncounted for.
Will the BJP accept what Arvind Kejriwal today said, that it's time for both the BJP and the Congress to spell out their position on Reliance? There have been statements in the past that perhaps Reliance funds the travels of Narendra Modi.
Where is the question of Reliance funds coming into today? We are talking about governance of Delhi.
No,
I don't think we are right there into the territory of Reliance or not. Any case, it's
an allegation. It's an allegation repeatedly mentioned by the Aam Aadmi Party even today.
I don't think we need to rebut each and every allegation that Aam Aadmi Party brings about, and I think the answers are very apparent. We rebut it. We say no. That's it. So where is it relevant for the governance of Delhi? Whether an FIR has been registered against Sheila Dikshit or the Congress party, or whether it's registered against Ambani or not, are you saying, or anybody is saying, that the current situation is an outcome of any kind of allegations of FIRs against any corporate house? I don't think even the people of this country would kind of swallow that. The current situation is because that's the way Aam Aadmi Party wanted it. An excuse to walk out. Nothing to do with FIRs, nothing to do with Ambanis, nothing to do with gas. These are all issues just made up in the air.
Mr. Bhushan, did you make up these issues because you wanted out?
We had been saying allow us to pass the Jan Lokpal bill. The Congress and the BJP ganged up.
Therefore, we should allow you to pass whatever you say. Forget the constitution, forget anything else, forget the rules of procedure.
Where does the constitution say that you need prior consent of the central government?
No, but sir, section 22 of the NCT Act of 1991 does say that. Rule 55 of business transaction rules do say that.
Absolutely, ruled section 22. Of course, it's thrown in the air because Mr. Bhushan and Mr. Aam Aadmi Party wants it. Therefore, we don't require to follow with the constitution. A money bill doesn't require to be cleared with the approval of the LG. It just goes through because we want it to go through there. Therefore, Mr. Bhushan argues it should be allowed. And nobody should have any objection to it because the constitution means nothing.
Mr. Bhushan, what is your interpretation of the constitution?
Section 26. The constitution says that even if any law or any rule requires prior consent for introduction or passage of any bill, and if that prior consent is not taken and the bill is passed, that will not render it invalid if it receives subsequent assent of the President. Therefore, why were the BJP and the Congress insisting on this technicality when both the BJP and the Congress say for the record that they are in support of the Jan Lokpal bill, when both of them say that they want full statehood for Delhi? Why was this technicality being raised? And why it's obvious that 3 days after the FIR is registered against Ambani, who controls both the Congress and the BJP, as is evident from the Radia tapes. If you listen to the Radia tapes, in one conversation, Ranjan Bhattacharya, the son-in-law of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, says that Mukesh Ambani told him that Congress to ab apni dukaan hai. In the other conversation between N.K. Singh and Neera Radia, N.K. Singh reveals that BJP is also Ambani's dukaan because he got the top leadership of the BJP to replace Arun Shourie with Venkaiah Naidu.
All right, Priyanka, why don't you come in? Why don't you come? Okay,
in the finance
Mr. Bhushan, let me get the Congress to react to that. That whether or not we like it, the issue of Mukesh Ambani is central to the entire argument. All right, that he holds sway. In fact, in the past, the Aam Aadmi Party has said for 10 years he has controlled the UPA government.
No, all I'd like to say, mention here, Vishnu, is AAP today stands for Allegations and Some More Allegations Party. All they seem to do is come up with some allegations at press conferences just to, get the media talking and keep the attention going. Very clearly, they do not have any substantial proof to claim, further their claim. and all they've been doing ever since their formation has been basis of that. Secondly, it is sheer doublespeak when Prashant Bhushan ji speaks about following the constitution and Lieutenant Governor not doing things as per the constitution when they themselves have flaunted the constitution. Now he says that why didn't we support Aam Aadmi Party with these guys not following the technicalities? Why were the technicalities not followed in the first place is my question. If their intent of clearing the Jan Lokpal was so they were so honest about the Jan Lokpal.
The point that you made a little earlier on, I need to ask you, I need to ask you on that. You said that the Aam Aadmi Party raises allegations, they pull out these allegations from a hat, they name people from a hat. But what about people like Kamini Jaiswal, E.A. Sarma, Admiral Ramdas, a former Navy chief, T.S.R. Subramaniam? Are all of these people individuals who the Congress believe need to be discredited? Because all of these people, each one of them have said that the links with the Ambanis and corruption as far as gas is concerned needs to be investigated. Are each one of these people lacking in credibility?
No, this is nothing to say about their credibility here or trying to discredit them. But all we're saying is there is a medium of investigating all this. But you cannot come to press conferences, levy charges against X, Y, and Z.
Very small anti-corruption arm.
You have the Constitution. The Constitution has given you a framework as well as a medium to fight such cases. If you have some proof, you have some substantial proof, you can go ahead and take it to the court, take it to the police. But you cannot do it via press conferences, which Aam Aadmi Party has been doing time and time again.
Well, he says he's willing to go to jail if there are cases against him. He says he doesn't care. He wants to name and shame. That's what the Aam Aadmi Party has always done.
No, he's been saying things like, I'm willing to resign from being a CM 1,000 times, 100 times.
But he's just resigned.
I'm willing to lay down my life for the country. Well, I respect his wishes. But there is a constitution which he needs to follow. There is a judicial system which he can follow in case he is so keen on bringing a corrupt to book.
Okay.